Hello everyone and welcome back to Auto Decode. In this video, we'll be learning about the pros, cons and the applications of all the powertrain layouts that we checked in the earlier video. If you haven't watched the earlier video, please go to it and watch the earlier video as this video is in continuation with that video. You will find the link in the description below. So let us discuss more details about these layouts. Let's start with the transverse engine front wheel drive layout. Let us now discuss the pros, cons and the application of this type of layout. Let us start with the pros first. So the first point is less components. This kind of layout has overall less components as compared to other kinds of layout. So lesser the components, better is the efficiency as lesser are the losses. Next point is less weight. Obviously, less the number of components, lesser is the weight, which is advantageous. Then third point is compact assembly. So this assembly is overall very compact, hence making more space available in the cabin and the rear luggage. So compact assembly is other advantage that this type of layout has. Next point is more weight on front axle. So as the whole assembly is on the front axle, there is more weight on the front axle, that is the front driven wheels. So as there is more weight on driven wheels, the tractive force is more as the normal load or weight on the wheels is greater. Then the next point is steered plus driven wheels. Yeah, so as the steered wheels itself are driven, the driving force or the tractive force is exactly in the direction where the vehicle is being steered. So this is another advantage. Then the next point is easier engine cooling. So as the engine is located in front, we have natural stream of air coming on the vehicle available for engine cooling. Hence the engine cooling is better and easier. So let us move on to the cons. First point is torque steer, the biggest con. Torque steer means automatic steering movement or automatic movement of vehicle to the left or right in easier language due to throttle or acceleration. This happens due to either different lengths of rotating masses, that is the drive shafts, or different weights on both the front driven and steered wheels. And this is not at all desirable as handling becomes very difficult. Then the next point is losses due to the weight transfer. Yeah. So while acceleration, the weight transfer is to the rear of the vehicle, right? So when a vehicle accelerates with this type of layout and the wheel transfers to the rear, then the front wheels which are driven lose the weight on them, hence losing the tractive force. So this is not a desirable point. Then the next point is uneven and excessive front tire wear. So in this type of layout, the front wheels have a lot of work to do. They are driven plus steered and plus while braking, the weight transfers to the front. So while doing all these jobs, the front wheels experience uneven and excessive wear. And the last point is complicated design, obviously, as all the systems are crumpled together, steering system, suspension system, powertrain. So it is a very complicated design as compared to other layouts. Then let's move on to the application point. So this type of layout is majorly used in all the passenger vehicles. Why? Because obviously all the pros like more efficiency, better cooling, more cabin space are all with these type of passenger vehicles. Hence, we will find this type of layout majorly in passenger vehicles. Next is the front longitudinal engine rear wheel drive type of layout. Okay, so let's now start with the pros, cons and application of this type of layout. So this type of layout is used in all types of commercial vehicles, light, medium and heavy commercial vehicles. Let's look at the pros of this type of layout then. So as there's only engine in the front, there is a lot of space available for engine, which makes us possible to accommodate even big engines which are used for commercial vehicles. Then the weight distribution in this type of layout is better. The front axle weight is shared by the engine plus the passengers, and the rear axle weight is shared by the luggage of the commercial vehicle. So the weight distribution is better, and also as there is luggage weight on the rear axle, during acceleration we get more traction and grip on the rear axle as the rear axle is driven. Then the tire tasks are spread, right? So the front tires have to do the braking, measure of the braking and the steering, while the rear tires have to do braking and driving. So the tasks are split, unlike front axle driven layout. Then the next is obviously as the front axle is only steered and not driven, the front axle design is very simple. It has to be only steered. Then The accessibility is easy because all the components are spread out wide apart and all the components are very easy to access as compared to the front axle driven layout where a transaxle is very close to the engine and also the drive shaft. So the accessibility here is very easy. And the last pros point is simple engine cooling. Similar as the earlier layout, as the engine is placed in front, there is free natural stream of air directly coming onto the engine. So engine cooling is also simpler and better. Now let's move on to the cons. So in this layout, there are more components, ultimately more weight and more losses, which is not desirable. Then as the rear wheels are driven, sometimes you can experience oversteering and skidding. Oversteering is basically the vehicle steers itself more than what you expect it to or what you control it to. So this is not a desirable condition which can lead to getting the vehicle out of your control. So oversteering and skidding is possible in this type of layout. Then there is less weight on the front axle when the vehicle is fully loaded. So it might lead to loss of handling due to less weight on the steered wheels. And so lastly, there is limited cabin space due to propeller shaft. Yeah, this is in smaller commercial vehicles, that is the light commercial vehicles majorly. In light commercial vehicles, the propeller shaft has to pass through the cabin. So there is a hump on the propeller shaft inside the cabin, which limits the leg space or the cabin space. So this is pretty much all for this type of layout. Let's move on to the next layout. Now the next layout is rear engine, rear wheel drive type of layout. So the rear engine, rear wheel drive type of layout is most probably used in sports cars where the engine is in the rear and also the rear wheels are driven, and also in some low floor transit buses because the floor is lower, hence the propeller shaft needs to be eliminated. So the pros are obviously similar to the front engine, front wheel drive type of layout. Less components, hence less losses and better efficiency. Overall, the design is compact due to the transaxle. Then lightweight because of less components and more cabin space because the propeller shaft in other commercial vehicle layout is eliminated in this type of layout. Then the cons are engine cooling is difficult in this type of layout. Why? Because the natural stream of air is not available as in the front engine layout. So cooling is difficult. There needs to be a lot of ducting and venting for good cooling, which is not an issue on sports car because the speed is high and you get high velocity of air through the ducts. So another con is less weight on the steered wheels because the complete drivetrain and the engine is in the rear. So the steered wheels have less weight on it. But this is also overcome in sports car due to the aerodynamic design and the drag of the air, which leads to the downforce. Next comes the four-wheel drive type of layout. Okay, so major application of four-wheel drive is the off-road vehicles. It is majorly used in all the off-road vehicles, and also it is used in light commercial vehicles like the small pickup trucks. So moving on to the pros, the biggest pro is better traction as all the four wheels are driven. In case of two-wheel drive, if the driven wheels are not in contact with the ground, then the vehicle cannot be propelled forward. But that doesn't happen in four-wheel drive because one of the four wheel has to be in contact with the ground. So it has much better traction and hence much better control also. Then you can have option between selection for two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, which is very good because two-wheel drive gives better fuel efficiency and four-wheel drive gives better handling and traction capabilities. Also, there is selection between high and low ranges. This is other than the manual transmission gears that you have to select. So this is additional possibilities of gears, additional flexibility, hence very advantageous. You can select between high and low range in addition to the manual gears that you have. Then as you have these two ranges, you have better climbing capacity, you get more torque, which is very advantageous. Also in the off-road conditions as we have seen in the application. And lastly, as both the wheels are driven, both the axles are driven, the weight distribution is very balanced. The load distribution is very balanced because there is an axle at rear as well as front. So the load distribution in this case is balanced. Then let's move on to the cons. Let's look at the cons. So firstly, obviously, there are more parts, hence more weight, hence more losses. And also, if four wheels are driven, the fuel efficiency drops very low, which is not at all what we want. Then there is a concept called as transmission wind-up. So what happens when both the axles are driven, front axle and the rear axle, there might be a slight difference between both the speeds as the gearing to both the axles is different. This difference in speed leads to buildup of torque in one of the axles. Like the slower axle resists the faster axle. This is called as transmission wind-up. It leads in wind-up torque, which is excess torque built up on the whole drivetrain, and it is not at all advantageous for working of the drivetrain. It can harm the drivetrain. Then also there are both the axles driven and there are so many components. So the design is overall complicated as compared to all the two-wheel drive vehicles. And now to end with, let's discuss all-wheel drive type of layout. So all-wheel drive type of layout is majorly used in SUVs, which are used for light off-roading, premium SUVs, and also in some performance vehicles, premium segment vehicles. Then let's move on to the pros. The best pro is obviously best traction. All-wheel drive type of layout has the best possible traction in all the types of layouts. Then coming to the next point, torque vectoring is possible in all-wheel drive. What does torque vectoring mean? So torque vectoring means we can bias, we in the sense the ECU can bias the torque to individual four wheels according to the scenario under that particular wheel. So it is very advantageous and it can be done in an all-wheel drive system using an ECU. Then the next is ease of operation. Obviously, unlike a four-wheel drive where the driver has to select two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive or high and low, in an all-wheel drive, everything is done by the ECU. Hence, the operation is very, very easy. Then next point, balanced weight distribution. Like four-wheel drive again, as the components are all over the vehicle, the front axle is driven, the rear axle is driven, the weight distribution is throughout balanced. And the last point, so as this is an electronically controlled system, it is a very intelligent system and the driver doesn't have to do anything. So it is the most intelligent system of all the layouts of drive. Then let's move on to the cons. The biggest con is obviously very high cost and expense of this type of system. As there are electronic components, there are mechanical components, it is very costly. Then the next point is more number of components, more is the weight, more are the losses, and hence less is the fuel efficiency. The fuel efficiency is very low in these type of layouts. So that's all for different types of powertrain layouts. Whenever you come across all these different types of vehicles, try to figure out what layout is used in that vehicle and also try to figure out the different positions or locations of all the different types of components. Practically perceiving it in this way will make this concept more clear in your mind. And thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And see you soon and keep learning and keep teaching. Thank you.